All right, everyone. I guess we can go ahead and get this started. Um, it suddenly occurred to me that there were a lot of little things that I didn't get when I first started playing Elite Dangerous. I wasn't one of those hardcore people who got into the beta phase and just examined every nook and cranny. Frankly, I'm kind of just interested in playing the game. I've played it far enough along now that I kick myself for some of the stupid stuff that I did early on. But I thought it might be cool to do sort of. I'll sort of game through what I'm doing and then explain different things that really kept me from being able to just jump and enjoy the game right away. So the first, and there's stuff I'm still trying to figure out in terms of things like the really effective way to use commodities and to trade stuff and all that kind of thing. I find myself losing money as often as I'm making money. So there's that. Let me just get my headphone plugged in here. All right, now we're ready to go. All right, so I'm all fueled up and ready to rock and roll. I'm kind of just making my way towards Sol. So let me show you where I'm at. I'm currently at LP588. I've been sort of coming from that general direction. The last place I remember being was Bast, but I was also at Bonatu at one point or another. And just sort of heading this away. Over the course of my adventures prior to this, I had the Sidewinder like everyone else does, and I upgraded to the Hauler a little bit. And right now I'm running on solo, so just so you know. And we can talk a little bit about what I think some of the differences are between solo and not solo in terms of what kind of things you should and shouldn't do, because I think there is a difference. So the first thing I want to talk about is control of the vehicle. So first, let's get out of this and let's get some cargo. Make sure I don't have any repairs. Make sure nobody owes me money, or I don't owe someone else money. I came across an interesting bug earlier today where if you target a wanted pilot, and there's other people in the system who have that pilot targeted, if you get into combat with that target, the people who are not wanted, who are also hunting them, suddenly become red for you. But if you shoot at them, you get a penalty for opening fire on them. So it's weird that they're already red. It seems to me nobody should be red unless you're free to shoot at them. So that might be my misinterpretation, but it kind of surprised me. And there's only one available mission which would require me to come back here, and I am just not interested in coming back here, so screw that. One thing that I did do early on that you're going to want to be aware of is whenever you're modifying your ship, make sure and take a look at your jump range. If you look at it the second from the bottom in the lower right, you can see jump range, unladen, current, and laden. I was in a arm of some part of the galaxy where when I upgraded my armor on my ship, that increased my tonnage, so it reduced my jump range, which basically stranded me in that arm of the galaxy even when I had no cargo. So I had to go back and rebuy my lighter armor to get out of that area before I could do anything. So I think the order in which you want to do things as far as improving your ship is kind of important. I think the first things that you're going to want to do are improve things like engines, power management, power plant, that type of thing. So in my case, I did power plant and then power distribution and then frame shift drive. That was on my other ship. This one I haven't updated yet. Well, I kind of like the idea of having better sensors, but I don't like the idea of spending my money on it. But it increases the power drive. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. What the heck? Oh, but you'll want to make sure and take a look at the effect it has on your ship, right? So I'm about to make this purchase. Always look down in this lower right side and see how badly it screws with your jump range. It's really annoying. So just keep that in mind when you're doing stuff. It really sucks to realize you've pulled a boner and get trapped somewhere. Okay. So next for me is to go to the bulletin board. I think we already did this. Yeah, this is just go back and forth stuff. So let's go ahead and figure out where we're going next. I'm kind of generally heading towards Seoul, which it looks like... I think the next smartest jump is to this place, LHS 2126. So let's go ahead and get out of here. And while we're covering this, I also want to mention vehicle control. Now, I have a Logitech G940 setup, which has the rudders and the throttle and the so it's got the collective and it's got the joystick, which which I stopped using, primarily because I wanted to start off simpler, and frankly, landing was my biggest problem. I was an idiot. I mean, I'd come barreling in and rolling around. So let's talk a second about landing, and these rules apply almost everywhere, at least from what I can see. Let me see if there's a highlighted pad here. No, there's not. All right, so, but let's talk about the pads. You know what? Maybe we should do this when I land. But let me lay out what my logic here was. So I went back to simple, and what I have now is a setup where most of my flying is done with just a basic joystick, and with that, I'm using the Logitech Force 3D Pro. Very basic joystick. It's like anything you'd expect, but it's also got the rotational stuff built into the joystick. And then what I've done is in the setup, here I can show you that. In the setup options, what I've done is mapped the controls for landing flight landing overrides, right? So what you want to do is adjust, and because this can be totally for you. I'm more of a numpad guy, but so left thrust, right thrust, thrust up, thrust down, and forward and backward, I've mapped all to convenient locations on the numpad, which allows me to do landings, and all of these controls will be invoked when your gear is down. So as soon as you put your gear down, this stuff will apply. I also have the exact same mappings on my general controls, so that when I'm in combat, I can sort of slide left, slide right, slide up, slide down, or speed up real quick from my setting to some other speed, just because I like that. But I just didn't have a real convenient way to do that on the more complicated setup. I know some folks who say to do it with one of the hat switches, and that's perfectly fine, that's great. But for me, coming back to the numpad was the easiest thing. So that's my general layout, and I'll show you how it works for me as we move along here. I usually like to leave stuff right in the blue and then use my keypads to go for higher boosts. Again, this is a hauler. This is the next ship you pretty much logically buy after you've made a few runs. The best way I've seen to make money is really just to haul cargo, and also to always scan new star systems. A lot of folks will get rid of their D-scanner right away, and put something else there. But I find that having that scanner is a great way to make some extra cash, particularly if you're someone who wants to go and do your things, not in just one specific system for a really long time. Alright, go ahead and do a little throttle adjustment up into the blue. And this is a new area for me, so I'm going to go ahead and do a D-scanner. And I didn't find anything magical. But I'm going to go ahead and... Uh-oh, so we got a contact. It's probably going to try to intercept me, which I will allow. Yep, they're going to try to intercept. Let's see what else we got in this system. Nah. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and let them interdict me. I'm going to go ahead and put my throttle up. go ahead and lock on to him. I didn't have my weapons out because I'm an idiot. Now this is again on solo mode. So these guys tend to not be too tough. I used to evade every chance I got. And now I don't. This guy isn't even rocking it with any shields. And actually, when I was rocking it with a Sidewinder, I didn't have shields either. I put cargo there instead. But I also never attacked anybody. Until, unless I didn't have a choice. So I've got this guy down pretty well. Pretty much a standard turn and burn kind of deal. Boom. Whoa, how come I didn't get any moolah? Alright. Anyway, let's see here. I was interdicted, so... let's go into...